Good evening, everyone. So a little while back, some of you may have seen me wander around. Wonder what I was doing? Any guesses? I was saying my gratitude prayer. Not everything what you do needs to be seen by everyone. You should once in a while rest that urge of putting everything on social media or trying to look your best. Doesn't matter. Life is rough. Life has rough edges. You must live through it. So what was my gratitude prayer? Can I have the slides, please? Okay, while they get on the slides, the gratitude prayer goes like this. It was a thank you to the universe. A thank you to the universe for putting me in the right place at the right time. A thank you to the universe for making me go through a lot of situations, good and bad both, and helping me get learnings out of those, so that I can have the wisdom and the presence of mind to deploy them in situations when the opportunity presents itself or has presented itself. The gratitude prayer also acknowledges that I'm nothing. I'm nothing without my family, without my close friends, without my alma mater, which is this. I'm 35 years earlier, I passed out from MIT. My professional colleagues, my teammates, because they all help you in facilitating your life goals. Right? And I thank the universe also for giving me the grit, the perseverance, the purpose to unleash boundless energies for you to be able to make a difference, even small or sometimes big, every day. Okay? This was my gratitude prayer, and this truly is my secret of my life. So, people talk about success and failure. What is failure and what is success? So let me ask some of you this. Okay, at random I'll pick. Yeah. First tell me your name. Latifur Rahman Sheikh. Okay, 5 years later, where do you want to see yourself?
I see myself starting my own venture.
Starting his own venture. Okay, thank you. Now someone else. Who would like to volunteer? Any volunteers? I'll go off. Otherwise, this table, everyone is like very afraid. That table is a good table. Good table. So ladies, one of you, or two of you, or all of you. Yeah, all of you. All of you. Okay, come on, get up.
Good evening, sir. My name is Sakshi, and as you question, I would like to have a stable job in future, my 5-year plan, and hopefully happy.
Excellent. Next.
Good evening, sir. I am Navya. So, 5 years down the lane, I see myself working at a MNC.
Okay.
So, earning good salary as well.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. I'm Durga Shivale. So, 5 years down, I would like to open my own business.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Good evening, sir. My name is Ritu, and after 5 years, I would like to see myself as a head HR in a good company.
Wow, you're very specific. That's nice. That's nice. Very good.
Good evening. My name is Vartaka, and 5 years later, I see myself as a recruiter.
Wow, you two are very, very specific. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Very nice. So, thank you very much. That table is a very enterprising table. So, what is success and what is failure? What is failure? What is failure? खड़ा हो जा. तू भी खड़ा हो जा.
Failure is the next lesson for you.
Next lesson for you. What is failure?
Failure is actually a learning.
Good, good. Both of you are good. Yeah.
Failure means to me it's first attempt in learning.
Yes.
I've learned from APJ Abdul Kalam sir, basically.
Okay. You have learned from him.
Yes, sir.
You have learned from him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did you learn from him?
So Failure means first attempt in learning, which I've learned from APJ Abdul Kalam sir.
Oh, first attempt in learning. Okay. Tube light है थोड़ा चमका अभी. Okay, good. Acronym था. Excellent. So failure is nothing but the gap between your expected outcome and what the reality is, right? That's failure. So who defines failure? Who defines success? We ourselves. Okay? So how do you ensure the expectations are in line with what you should expect as an output? Depends purely on what you put in, your effort, isn't it? Right? But life is not easy. Life is hard knocks. Life is brutal. What if the final output that you desire doesn't happen? Was everything in your control? Nothing is in your control. So, why should we put in our efforts? The effort is important because without that first step, nothing happens. And without that first step of realization on what to achieve, what to drive, what to go through, nothing happens. So what happens when you fail? You obviously would like to get up, stand up. Can you do it alone? Do you see the essence of this prayer now? It is actually a prayer of entrepreneurship. In this prayer, you will find all the qualities that you need to be successful in life. Begin with being humble. Whatever your achievements, it is today, tomorrow, something else, and you will fail drastically. It has happened to me multiple times. So, I'll tell you about my life journey in terms of some innovations. Innovation with a purpose. So purpose is what drives you, gives you limitless energies through and through. So how did I discover my purpose and how did I discover and end up innovating a few? So how many of you listen to music on your phones? I would like to see all hands up. Right? Yeah, especially the guys behind, they are chit-chatting. How many of you play games on your phones? Yeah, more hands. How many of you watch videos on your phone? More hands. How many of you navigate on the phone? All of you. Now these are things that we all take for granted. But there was a time when this was absolutely not possible, or there was a glimmer of hope of it. And I was at the right time, right place, had the opportunity to make many of these things possible on the ground, on the devices that you actually see and do and use. So I'll take you through that journey of an intrapreneur and an entrepreneur later. So the patch of time in my life, I'm starting off with 1998, wherein the world's first digital music deal was signed. 1999 was the world's first digital music deal that was signed. But there are a few of you in this audience who are old enough to remember 1998. There used to be a phone called Sare Jahan Se Acha. Did you remember the ringtone Sare Jahan Se Acha, which came on the phone? And that is what really made Nokia a household name. That was something that I am very proudly behind. And then there was the world's first digital music deal that I was instrumental in. All through, as you see, multiple elements, finally culminating my Nokia journey with Life Tools in 2009. 2009 it was launched, but by 2013 it had reached to 125 million users. Now, 2009, if you guys remember, I'm sure you guys will remember this, right? 2009. How many of you used WhatsApp and Facebook in 2009? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. The people who raise your hands सब झूठ बोल रहे हैं. There was no Facebook, WhatsApp at that point in time at mass level. Okay? At that point in time, how would you use an app? So that was the innovation. And the first, Dr. Aditi asked me just now about health services. So this was the health information services, agri information services, education information services, learning English, exam tips, preparation, etc. That was part of Life Tools that was done. Even it predated the app era. Now, why I am giving you this context is because I will now take you through, because this is all about innovation, and this is an MBA class. An MBA class of 1,000 people can't be done without slides and can't be done without a framework. So I'll take you all through an innovation framework which I use. Okay? It is my own empirical observation and which is what I use. So what is it? Before that, I should tell you a little bit about Streamz. So Streamz is my current company, and the proposition here is we help people not to forget. Interesting? So we help people not to forget in a very, very specific cohort, a segment, a very specific use case, wherein you have large enterprises that have large number of people on the ground, and each one of them needs to be sharp as hell to be able to sell their product or service their customers. That's what we do. Notice I said help you not to forget. I did not say I help you remember. Can someone tell me what the difference is? What is the difference between helping you not to forget and helping you remember? It's one and the same thing, right? What is it? Anyone? Let me walk around again. So what is the difference between helping you not to forget and helping and, not to forget and helping you remember? Mr. Sheikh, anyone? डर गया?
Helping you remember is basically recalling, making them recall.
Bang on, bingo, 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 bingo. Ekdam perfect. So when I say I help you remember, what is the task of remembering? Cognitively, you are thinking about something, you're connecting dots, and exactly at that point in time, that moment in time, when you are having a trust-building conversation, it shows in your body language. It shows in you trying to fumble. It shows in you trying to remember. But in situations wherein you don't want that to happen, you should not have forgotten. It should have been there in your head. And that is the vital difference. Can you do this for tens of thousands of people on a daily basis? That's where we've deployed AI. So AI is not only useful stuff, not only stuff to automate things, but it is useful stuff for that. And for this, we've been recognized as one of the most innovative companies of the world in the enterprise category. The Fast Company recognition came just last week, and a few other recognitions like the top AI company in July last year, gold from Brandon Hall Group to be able to do this particular activity, and something from the Human Capital Awards from the Economic Times, right? So all that I'm saying is when you say it's about innovation, it never stops. Otherwise, I could be an old dog, 35 years since passing from this college, worked on brands that have long gone, been able to do things, and now they are mainstream, that each one of you use on your handsets, on your phones, in a very daily basis, very casually, without much mind to it, I would have rested on my laurels and called it a day. But if you are sharp and innovative, you don't want to do that. And you want to continuously innovate, and you're continuously seeking fresher challenges to actually go and solve. So, I encourage you all to dream. And when I say dream, I will come later on, after I take you through the framework, what this dream stands for. And this will be your second mantra, to actually put it in real life, and a very, very simple mantra. If you want to realize your dreams, pay attention. Everyone, at some point in time, everyone must have a tagline to themselves. This is my tagline. I, throughout my entire career, have had the opportunity to be at the cutting edge of technology. And throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to be able to convert these technology opportunities. I don't go and create. I'm not a lab rat. I'm not a scientist who goes and creates these technologies. But once you have tech, how do you convert that into a customer experience? How do you convert that into a business reality is what I have defined myself as at the broad meta level. I would encourage you to think about this, and I'm sure many of you will think about this day, this evening, 10 years down the road, when you would have discovered a line like this for yourself. Truly, this doesn't come overnight. This doesn't come like a flash in a pan. This doesn't come without you walking the swamps, getting dirty, getting hit, getting bruised. This doesn't come. But it will come if you are conscious. If you are not conscious, you will float around in life like a leaf in a stream of water. Mind you. So be careful about this. Be mindful about this. That you have to tag yourself, brand yourself. Not brand yourself in social media. That's not what the branding I mean. But a tag that you feel proud of what you stand for, which is what you are innately, your capabilities, and therefore what you stand for. Okay? So this is what I stand for. And I will give you multiple examples of this aspect. Okay. So I said that I'll give you a framework for innovation. Now this is a retrospective observation. I had been through a lot of failures, some successes, a lot of failures, and then I realized that there was a pattern to it all. And what was that pattern? The pattern was that an inspirational idea just doesn't come on its own. You've got to think about that continuously. You've got to be in that context. You've got to want to solve something. A pain point that you feel, or you or the company that you're working in, the enterprise that you're working in, has. Okay? So when I asked a few of you your 5-year plan, how would you know? So I rewind a bit. The 5-year plan, the day one of your corporate life or your adventure in venturing out and doing entrepreneurship, day one of that, you have to figure out what you are actually solving. Don't just do a job. Okay? I see a very big nod there. So that is what the context is. And I'll give you examples. Because when you are seeping into that context, when you are living that context day in, day out, that's when you are receptive to signals. Okay? We have all heard about energy, the cosmic energy coming, receiving. You radiate energy and therefore you get energy. You radiate energy because your mind is constantly looking for some solution, and so therefore you catch those solutions, those waves. Okay? So this is a fact. This happens in life. And so therefore stay alert and watch out for signals. But not all signals may make sense. So you need to iterate a little bit. Don't jump on the first signal itself that this is my solution. Once you understand that bit, a little bit, then have the courage to start visualizing what that product will be, or what that service will be, or what that venture will be, or what will you solve, and visualize it from the person who's using it point of view. Okay? And not just visualize the person from the point of view of using, which is very hard, which could be, okay, I was doing Excel sheets, now I'm doing an agent bot, or something like that, right? Which is very, very hard. Don't think just that. That needs to be thought. But look at what the person's feeling has shifted. Okay? I'll explain when I'll come to the examples. But watch the feeling of that end user, of the user. That's what the visualization is. Visualization is also about the feeling for that end user. Okay? You will realize, and that's why I pointed it out in that prayer, that you will not be able to do a single thing alone. Forget it. कोई हीरो नहीं होता है. Even सुपरस्टार्स को हीरो बनाने के लिए क्रेन आता है, वो जंप मार रहा है, एक्चुअली वो क्रेन में है, कैमरा ट्रिक्स, एवरीथिंग. कोई सुपर हीरो नहीं है लाइफ में. You need people. So you need to engage people. You need stakeholders in your idea. It's never one person's idea. You need stakeholders. So ensure you are collaborative. Okay? Don't just start sitting on it, saying that this is my idea, nobody will touch you, and the idea will fail. First few years of your corporate life, these are things that you have to be mindful of as well. And then, obviously, when you've created it, ensure that people understand what you've created it. And so therefore, don't have to go into a very catchy name, just ensure that it is understood by that name. Now let me take you all through the journey with some examples. Setting the context. Importance is understood. Why setting the context is important? Because you've got to be in that frequency to receive the frequency from there. So I'll give you a context. 1999. There was this phone, for the first time, it was coming with a ringtone composer. There were no downloadable ringtones. Today, nobody bothers about ringtones, but ringtones were a big fad then because that was a first music element at some point in time. And the ringtones were not like MP3 ringtones. They were like ting kind of ringtones. So there was a phone that had a ringtone composer, meaning on the keypad, you could type in 6792 #92392 ting 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 and press play. Save it and press play. And a music would come out. Okay, this was a feature in that phone. Now to me, as a product manager sitting in India, I felt, who is a musician? Who will be able to use that feature? Unless and until we help people with it. Okay, so that was the context. Next, a few years later, in another kind of opportunity, there was a phone that had the first internet access into it. Okay, at that point in time, it was called WAP, not even Internet, Wireless Access Protocol, WAP, WAP. And it also had a FM radio. That was a context. Now, how do you blend these two things and create something fantastic out of it, innovative out of it? Okay? So I'm setting the context. This was case number 2, setting the context. Case number 3, a few more years later, there was an opportunity that the CEO of Nokia at that point in time said, go create something that doesn't exist. Can you imagine? That was a blanket statement. Go create something that doesn't exist, but adds value to a phone. That is hardly any context. Then my boss comes and tells me, but it should not be doing anything with music, it should not do anything with email, it should not do anything with maps, it should not do anything with apps, it should not do anything with any enterprise push email, nothing at all. No games, no nothing. It should be totally out of the world, totally new. And it should be for the lowest end devices, not for the top end devices. Top end devices were spoiled for choice. Lowest end devices. That was the context. So have you guys got it? The three context, right? One phone with ting, 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 and then ringtone composer. Second is FM radio and internet. And the third is go create something new that doesn't exist. Now what would you do in each of these three cases? These three became very successful, but there were many others in between that did not. But let me take you through the success journey here. So, stay alert and watch out for signals. So what was the watch out for signals out here? Okay. Many, many years ago, there was a Govinda and Amitabh Bachchan movie called Bade Miyan Chote Miyan. There's a remake on this now. But this Bade Miyan Chote Miyan movie, it had a song where both of the superstars were dancing, and it was shown on MTV. And I was just, the MTV was running in the house, and at that moment, the Eureka moment struck. See how the signal has come? At that moment, the Eureka moment struck me. I said, oh wow. I should actually go down to the movie producers and tell them that whenever a phone rings, it could be your movie ka song. At that point in time, there was nothing of that sort, okay? And so I went out to convince a lot of these record labels subsequently. That's the second slide. But that was a Eureka moment. Same Eureka moment now, let me tell you how it strikes this place. So here I was in Singapore those days. Across from our office, there was a college, junior college, 11th, 12th. Singapore, waiting for the bus, college. Usually the office timing and their college timing also used to coincide. So every day I used to see this bunch of students, but one fine day it struck. And what were they doing? They were doing this every day, but one day it struck, the Eureka moment. What were they doing? They were like 5, 6 students gathered together at the bus stop, and they were all plugged in, listening to their Discman. Not phone, Discman, okay? And they were playing games on their phones. And then they were comparing, hey, how much your score? Okay. Hey, how much yours? They were doing that. And that's when the Eureka moment struck. Can I not combine the power of the WAP, the WAP, Internet Access Protocol, and the FM radio, such that the FM DJ, the RJ, has 1 hour wherein he's playing a game, and that game is simultaneously happening on the internet by this RJ, and he's playing that game with all these guys, right? So it was an interactive game that would play. I said, wow, that was a, what happened? 5 minutes, 20 minutes, okay. How much time have I consumed? How much time is there? So I'll time myself. 20 minutes, okay. Thank you. So this was the context and the signal that happened, Eureka moment, right? And then over here, the next one was, through multiple groups or focus groups, you see that rural consumers were calling their phone a magic box. And why was that? Way back in 2009-ish. They were calling their phone a magic box. Magic box because just like power cuts happened here, power cut happened every day, it had a torch. FM radio, already there. Communication, I can do. Those days, missed calls and whatever, at least I could signal some person by that, right? So it had opened up suddenly, that one device, so many aspects it had. And so why did they call it magic box? Because they said, "Arey boss, इसमें से तो कुछ भी आ सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है." And that was the moment that इसमें से अगर कुछ भी हो सकता है, तो why can't it be the device to give them health advice? Why can't it be a device to give them agri advice? Why can't it be a device to help them learn and prepare for their exams? That insight suddenly came up. Okay? So that was the idea of the watch out for signals. Then I said visualize the product. So visualize the product in terms of what is feasible, is the consumer ready, could it be an instructions sheet or something that could be downloaded for the first case. So it became an instruction sheet because there was no data, no nothing at that point in time. Ringtones were also not being able to be downloaded. Probably I'm speaking a very alien language when I say all this, apart from a few of you. Could not be downloaded. Okay? So what could it be then? It had to be a printed booklet. Visual radio was the name of the service that came about by ensuring that we combined these features and promoted it with the RJs to make this happen. And Life Tools, which eventually scaled to 125 million users, was the one that gave birth to a lot of services. So an interesting story here, now that you've seen the span of coverage on this slide, at a press conference once, somebody had asked me, okay, before that, some context to all of you. So in the early 2000s, if you did ABCD for mobile services, you were covered. ABCD was A for Astro, meaning trivia services, meaning getting jokes, astrology, etc. B was Bollywood, that means music ringtones, downloads, etc. C was cricket, which means sports, could be football in some other context. And D was devotion, meaning you could actually listen to Golden Temple, Kirtan, or things like that, ABCD. If you did ABCD and mobile services were offered by the mobile operators then ABCD, you were covered. There was nothing beyond that. So at some point in time, somebody, when I was launching Life Tools, they asked us, what is after that? I said, EFGH. This is in 2009. What is E? Education. What is F? Farming or fintech. G, government services. Your entire Aadhaar stack is that. H is health. So EFGH, right? So you have ABCD, EFGH. I have had a personal hand in the entire, until that part of the alphabet, I have had a hand there, so I feel quite humbled by that opportunity, right place, right time. So that was the context of Life Tools. But this was just visualization of the product. It would not happen unless and until we started engaging the music industry, unless and until we started engaging tech partners like HP and the radio industry, unless and until we started mobilizing the agri industry, the fertilizer companies, the education, the health, NGOs, all of them. So that's where you start creating an ecosystem of partnerships and engaging them. Okay? And if you do it well, this was scans of the first book, the Tones on Your Phone book. And it had songs from all over, some old songs that old to this day. Visual radio became what it was. With Life Tools, it was agri services across the country. It was being delivered to 60 million users in 2013 in India. Before the digitization wave, the current digitization wave, 2013, 60 million people. And the rest, 65 other million, were outside India, across China, Nigeria, and Indonesia. So name it so that people get it. So we called it tones on your phones. I said, right? Don't go after some snazzy stuff. Let people understand when you want something. Tones on your phones, nice ring to it as well. Visual radio, quite literally. And then life tools, because it is your life tool. Your phone is your life tool. Today, your phone is your life tool. Everything, right? So that's what it is. And just quickly rounding up in terms of set the context, stay alert, watch out for signals, visualize the product, engage, create stakeholders, name it so people get it. How many more minutes do I have? Somebody can tell me? 10 minutes. Okay, thank you. That's what I need. Okay, so today the music industry depends on mobile for monetization. Your Spotify's of the world, to everything, so iTunes, to everything, depends on mobile for monetization. It is a big impact. Visual radio is no more. Life Tool scaled across 125 million users across 4 countries, eventually was brought down. I told y'all that most of the time it is beyond you, the outcome is beyond you. So when Nokia itself, mobile phones business, was sold down, so it had to be ramped down, right? So unfortunate, but it had to go through that. And with Streamz.ai, my current venture, as I mentioned, it's just at the beginning of ascent, and hope it makes an impact in the innovation era. Okay. So who wants to dream? Who wants their dreams to become real? Nobody. Nobody. Only so few people. Come on, yeah. Are you guys, maybe you're sleeping and not dreaming. Wake up and dream. Okay. So what is dream? How do you give shape to your dream? How do you give wings to your dream? So dream. Define your purpose. Okay? Once you define your purpose, the R is refine your ideas, and you'll have to speak to people. You'll have so many ideas that come through. Have the courage to say no. Have the courage to eliminate. Have the courage to focus. That's refining your ideas. E is engage to explore. Don't keep it only to yourself. You will not be able to actually maximize it. Expand your mind. Engage. Explore. Speak to people. You might find a co-founder in it, because the power is in the execution, not in the idea alone. After that, you have to act. Now have the courage to act. But do you really ready? No journey on entrepreneurship is easy. It takes twice the amount of time and thrice the amount of cost that you ever imagined. Always. So even if you've imagined 2x, it will become 2x from there. Even if you imagine 3x, it will become 3x from there. Be ready for it. Will you take that plunge despite knowing that reality? So your checklist, are you still passionate about it? Do you have financial safety net? Have you built your skills to do what you want to do? Or will you learn by falling, rubbing? Or will you jump into a job, understand what you want to do, learn, get some skills, and then jump into it? Think about it. Each one to themselves, right? M. Only if you measure will you know you are going towards your North Star. And once you measure, that's what it is. It may need you to come back to your refined stage and then again engage, act, etc. Right? So as a framework for MBA students, for management students, we all thrive on frameworks, we all thrive on acronyms. This is one to take home. Okay? So just like I mentioned, I would like to end this with a reminder that this gratitude prayer is actually an entrepreneur's prayer, wherein you are humbly saying that you can't do everything alone, and you have to be thankful because it is out of your control. You have to be thankful that you are in the right place, right time. And you will be in the right place, right time only if you are well prepared. Just like fortune favors the brave, luck favors the well prepared. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed the ride. That's the end. I hope I've made the 10 minutes. Thank you.